Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I installed some shelves in my Galley in my Winnebago Solis 59PX. This Galley is used in a lot of different coaches and you could do the same if you like. Start out with a little tour of the shelves after I've installed them before I loaded them up. You can see they're constructed of just two pieces of wood, one horizontal piece that goes across the whole width and a vertical piece that supports it. The height of the shelf was set so that it didn't interfere with the existing screw heads, so you got those white screws. I didn't want to interfere with those, and it provides enough of a lip that when you put things on it, it's not going to fall behind the shelf. The left side of the shelf is supported by just a piece of wood, made out of the shelf material actually, that is screwed in from the other side of the board. The vertical piece is anchored in place with some little 90-degree brackets. And although I don't show them, there's 90-degree brackets on the top side of the shelf too, anchoring the top of the vertical board to the horizontal board. Here I show how I support the right side with some simple push pin type angle shelf supports. This modification has allowed me to store many of the items that I just kind of had stacked on each other. It allows me to organize things better, things that I had in aisles or in big bins under my bed area. Here I've removed the bottom board from the sink area or the galley area, and you can see that you could see a portion of the water tank. The water tank is wide and like a big L, and there's a portion of the tank behind the backboard, and the portion of it extends under that bottom shelf area. I removed that board so that I could use it as a template to trace out a shelf. So you can see I'll get the the width and the height, or the length and the width of the shelf from that board, and also it will allow me to get the cutout. So there's a cutout on the right side. So rather than go in there and measure and everything, I thought it was easy enough to just take that board out. I get to see what's underneath it before I drive screws into it, and I can use it as a template. And it worked out really well, especially for the shape of the cutout. The bottom piece that I removed, however, was a little wider than what fit in the shelf area. So if I look on it on end, I actually had to trim my board down a little bit to get it to fit at the top, in the top area of the under the sink. So basically that means from front to back, the bottom of my galley, or that storage area, is a little wider than it was at the top, but it was still worthwhile to take out the board.
To watch that, but I think it's still worthwhile to take it out for the length or the width of the shelf. It's very accurate, and for that cutout it's good, but you might have to trim it and narrow the shelf to fit. Okay, I wanted to have this one large shelf that will go along the top. I was going to put frying pans and stuff on there. So what I did is, this is a thick cabinet piece. It's as thick as what you see here. And I was able to use these little rests on this side because it's thick wood. It was straightforward. I just held the drill perpendicular and drilled it real straight, and I installed these first, and then I rested the shelf on there and came across to this side, and I traced a line on this piece of paneling where the bottom of the shelf would rest if it was level. So I rested the shelf on there, ran it across over here, and then I held it level and I drew a line, and you can still see the pencil mark there maybe. And so I decided just to use a piece of wood on this side. It's very thin, so I couldn't use those type of shelf supports on this side. So what I did is I took out that side panel, and I had that line drawn, and I used some clamps to clamp this piece of wood on here so I could screw it in from the back. Okay, so that's what I did for the left side. I'm going to show you I'm gonna just assemble it because it's important to be able to do maintenance and stuff and get at things. So I want to make sure I could assemble and disassemble it. So this is the bottom piece, and you got to make sure, like I left the screws in the back end. You want to make sure that you put this wood underneath those screws before you lay it down, because if you do the front edge first and try to push it past those screws, you'll break it. It's really brittle stuff. So there's the bottom in there, and then this piece, so you can see what's there. It's the sink, I guess, where, yeah, here's the trap back there going down to the gray tank. So you want to make sure you want to make sure that you don't screw into a pipe or something. So now I'm going to put this piece in. I'm just going to dry fit it. I got to move this bottom piece down because it sits in there. Okay, and I got this. Push it in there. Slide down. Okay, so I could tell it's in right. So now, the moment of truth, can I get the shelf in there? And it turns out if I come in, so I have it staged like that, and I can bring that back in over here, and I can clear this little mess, and then I just set it right on there. So it's sitting on the rest on that side, and nice and level on this side. So I'll be able to put some, I just gotta throw some frying pans in there. Let's see. Some other stuff. I'm just kind of showing for inspiration. Now I'm gonna have a divider. But remember, this bottom piece is very thin. It does have two screws here that go into a brace that goes across. So I could put a 90-degree like angle bracket on this bottom edge and screw into there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do for that. Anyway, that's what I did for a shelf, and maybe there's some useful information in there, especially like the paneling and things like that and what's behind it. So hope it helps somebody.